is that time for another Launching Life's Journeys podcast powered by Heartland RV. And today, oh boy, we got a special guest today. We have Miss Erin Stender, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer for Campspot. Erin, welcome to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we've got a lot to get into. Our audience is consumer focused. We also have a lot of our dealers coast to coast that are tuning in. I scoured in anticipation of our interview here, went across coast to coast in North America. We found that only 4 people in the United States and 2 in Canada, they are the only ones that don't know who Campspot is. So for those 5 wonderful people, let everybody know, who is Campspot?
Oh, well, thanks. I mean, if that's true, I feel like my job is done and we probably can, go home and enjoy the weekend at this point. But I would love for that to be true. So we'll take your study very seriously here. But in all seriousness, I think the easiest way to think about Campspot is a booking site for private campgrounds. I think that distinction is also really important. So campspot.com has both a website and an app. Both are free. It allows campers to search from over 200,000 campsites from across North America. So we'll get those 2 Canadians here converted very soon. And we like to think of it as kind of being like the easiest or your most favorite online travel site for camping specifically.
And the one thing I really want to give you and your team credit for, I took time on my own to both go on the web browser as well as the app, which is available for download on Google Play and the App Store. So no matter what device you have, you can get Campspot. What blows me away immediately when I open it up is how easy it is to navigate, and more importantly, how you guys have everything segmented to the consumers, no matter who they are. If it's a family that's looking for family type campgrounds, you guys have it. If it's based on geography, you guys have it outlined. If it's for people that are just looking for weekender spots. So I really want to give you credit. How did, since your arrival, for everybody listening, Erin joined Campspot in 2021. Obviously we had COVID, so I'm sure it's been a wild ride. But how did you immediately know to address the focus of the consumer and how they go on their journey to navigate and schedule their vacations?
Yeah, great question. Well, first of all, I take 0 credit for that. That all happened well before my time. But I think just to, and I'll pass along the great kind words to our product team, because they're certainly the brilliant minds behind powering what we're doing. That said, I think you nailed on something we all have experienced this if you've ever made any type of camping reservation, right? It's just hard at times. It requires a lot of research. There's no single app that's doing anything, from end to end in the entire decision journey perfectly. I think that's also very ambitious for any single company to try to do on their own. But we, our starting point as a business, campspot.com, actually is us, our core business is our software business, where we help power campgrounds campground owners managing their campgrounds. And I think that insight actually translated over into the consumer side of our platform, which is thinking about, our campgrounds on the campspot.com are using our software. So because of that integration, more often than not, what you see on campspot.com is the same system that's powering those reservation systems for the campgrounds. So because of that, what you're seeing is instantly available, bookable inventory. It's real-time pricing. And so we had that lens coming into the development of campspot.com, which is what is challenging in the booking experience? How do we make that easier? And, I was recently talking with a campground owner who said, my whole goal is, traveling is hard, road tripping is hard. Fun, yes, but also hard. And so getting to your reservation and getting to your destination should be enjoyable. And I think that translates into our UX, into how we think about categories, how we think about, putting in your rig information so that the filters really are what you can rely when you pull into that site. What you're going to be able to do is hook your rig up and enjoy it. So I think that is kind of core to our product philosophy, is certainly a great UX, a really easy navigation and experience, and one that's centered on the destination. Where do you want to go and how can we help you find that?
Yeah, and again, it's clear to me you are way more humble than I am. So I applaud you for that. It's something that I'm working on. One thing that I do want to touch on though, for everybody listening, what you just outlined, it's very important for people to understand. What you are not is just a mass filter from the internet where you're getting addresses and locations. It's clear to me you guys do vet out your campgrounds. So, as you kind of just hinted on, originally I thought Campspot was just on the consumer side, which has, again, an amazing platform that I think everybody should download now. But there are also our listeners that are privately owned campgrounds. So you guys do, in fact, in your network that you have on the app or the web-based platform, you do have a relationship with these privately owned campgrounds, correct?
Correct, for the most part. We do
Yeah.
have new integrations that we are doing to open up inventory across others, but the majority of sites, campgrounds on our website do in fact use our software.
And I think that's why it is so great for the consumers, because you guys have done some vetting and you did really take some intentional time through the connections that you have with these real campgrounds to have the site and the app be so organized. The other thing I want to point out too, and just kind of circle back and give you some credit because you would never say it, you have been for more than 2 decades a part of SaaS programs and e-commerce marketing programs, and you have an amazing track record of just simply building brands and developing your teams and designing impactful go-to-market strategies. So you come into 2021 where everything is just flipped upside down with COVID, with the pandemic. Can you just kind of speak briefly to when you came in and understood kind of, again, what your great production team has done with relative to UX up until your arrival to where you are today here in 2023? What has just been maybe the pivots or the adjustments that you've had to make and really what you've been focused on up through this year?
Great question. I mean, I think, zooming back just a little bit, when I think about joining Campspot, it was, as you said, kind of in the middle. We were looking at the lens a little bit differently than we might be looking at it today. On a personal level, we're an RV family, and it was just almost too good to be true to get an opportunity to join Campspot at the stage that it was in, at the growth period that it was in, with the people that have been here and who are being added to the team. So it's just been, such a fun, phenomenal journey the last almost 2 years-ish. But yeah, in terms of pivots that we've having to make, I think like everyone, we're kind of coming out of the last few years and looking in the rearview mirror and, maybe wondering what has happened and where are we and what day is it. But I think also trying to re-navigate what does it look like to be, relevant to customers today. If we kind of narrow in on our specific industry, what does it mean to be in the hospitality and the travel industry today? How are consumer behaviors changing? Are we kind of coming back? Are we different? Are we hybrid? How does that translate into like our business thinking?
Sure.
So what's fun about Campspot for me is on a real personal level, I connect with this industry. But I think that's something, really important to me too, is to know that, the work behind Campspot, the people behind Campspot are all extremely passionate about the outdoor industry and extremely passionate about the camping industry. And as we make shifts, for both our campers side of our business, campspot.com, and the software side, we're trying to ensure that it supports the industry overall. We deeply believe in that, like lift all ships, helps everything. And so the decisions that we were making or any changes that we're making today is really fundamentally in vain to help the campgrounds that we believe will in short, help campers too.
That is awesome. And I think with that mindset that you've had and everything that you do, can you kind of speak to maybe some new or some newsworthy projects that you guys are excited to be announcing right now here in 2023?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the fun stuff. Well, I mean, it's a perfect layup. I think, one of the things I want to kind of talk about with Campspot is that we really are here to make it easier to enjoy camping. And I think there's a lot of camp companies out there that are also trying to do the same. And I think we know the power of the outdoors. We know the power of what campgrounds are bringing to campers across North America. And so anything that we try to do is designed with that intentionality to also help that angle. So I think on the camper side, we're like, how do we make it easier to still have that wonderful and easy experience to book, and how to have that be like a backdrop of your experience so that you can focus and set out on your trip. And for campground owners, it's really hard to run a campground. They really want to focus on the guest experience. They really want to be, having people talk about what an experience they had at their campground this summer. And so finding ways to give them extra ways to connect with campers through campspot.com is certainly like core to our why. But just to kind of highlight a couple things that, just because our opportunity is here. One thing I wanted to talk about actually is we just recently launched our 2024 solar eclipse campaign. And I think that was super exciting, right? It's just this idea of April 8th of 2024 feels so far away, but we've just rounded, less than a year mark away now. That is slated to be predicted to be one of the biggest mass travel events ever in the history of the United States, a single day of travel. And so visitors are going to be traveling from everywhere into the path of totality. We have hundreds of campgrounds along the path of totality that are going to take, and be in such a sweet spot to take advantage of, creating an opportunity for campers to experience what might be a once in a lifetime opportunity for majority of people. So we just launched a landing page that has a suite of resources for campers, like how to see the eclipse, what to pack, how to be more educated and informed on what this is, as well as for campground owners on how they could really pull that into their marketing strategy. If they're in the path, what could they do and how do they maximize that opportunity to draw more campers in? So it's that type of example is one that gets us really excited because we're creating hopefully value for campgrounds, but also creating a new opportunity for campers to go camping.
Well, and I think what's really amazing to me, and credit again to your strategy, is basically you spend all of your time working with consumers to understand what the demand is relative to experiences that they'll never forget, because that's what traveling the open road is all about. And then once you've identified that, then what I applaud you for, which is brilliant, is then you go to all of the campground owners and say, hey, we've identified the hot ticket of this year. Do any of you want to, share or offer how you can meet that demand and provide that value to thousands and thousands of families? Remarkable. That's brilliant, because now you've incentivized both parties. You've got, people that want to be a part of this experience. Again, April 8th, 2024, solar eclipse. You've outlined it and you've made it so easy to schedule and book and have this experience with their family. And then I would bet there's hundreds, if not thousands, of campgrounds that are rushing to the support of this identified demand on this special date. And campspot.com is letting both sides know what's going to be happening. So really remarkable strategy there. I do want to talk about, too, there's something really interesting when we talk about, again, just promotion of events that families can be a part of, as well as recognition to people that work hard to create great experiences. And I want to speak that there's one thing that you guys are not shy about, and it's Campspot Awards. You just recently had the 2023 Campspot Awards. How do you guys go ahead and do a review? What qualifies to be an award winner in all of these given categories that you guys have announced?
Yeah, that's another one of our special love campaigns is the Campspot Award. So we actually launched the first one. It's an annual event. We launched the first one last year in 2022. So this was our second annual. We just launched it in late February. And the catalyst behind that was also just something important to us. Like there's lots of opportunities to acknowledge, campgrounds and even campers, but we really wanted to take something special to advocate, support, and acknowledge campgrounds across both North America. And the goal ultimately is to help make it easier for travelers and campers to know where to go each summer. But again, it's that balance of the two sides that we're really trying to focus on. So we just released the second annual Campspot Awards. We had 12 unique categories. So to your point on just like, how did we get to those categories? I'll get to that in a second. We looked across our platform of data. So we used over 70,000 data points. We also used some camper voting this time to vote up on like a camper's favorite category. And what we are trying to do across the categories is kind of create a wide definition of camping with these categories. So there's a little something for everyone. We were looking at, if you're a family with young kids, this group might be a good place to start with. If you're an adventurous couple, this might be good. If you're like a weekend warrior and just want to get out for the weekend, go here. The idea really being that camping doesn't have a single definition anymore. Campgrounds are so much more than they might have used to be or like that you might think of. And so the awards not only elevates excellence in the camping industry for the campgrounds, but it really helps connect campers to more places to camp. So this year we, again, kind of used data points. So it's reservation history data. It's trip rating and reviews that come in from the campers after their stay. And then kind of some cross-tabulation data mixing to say, people who camped with pets, people who camped with their family, people who did 2-night booking trips over the weekend. That created our short list of category winners. And that is how we kind of got to the data points of revealing this year's winners.
That's awesome. And I know as you guys grow your database with campgrounds privately owned, I'm sure you're going to see the competition increase because it's starting to become quite a big deal for folks. And I really applaud your guys' strategy of how, you're not just promoting and providing advocacy for these privately owned campgrounds. You're recognizing them for their efforts of focusing on consumers to have great experiences at their locations. Want to talk a little bit about too, for a lot of our listeners, they already know Heartland RV, we do not manufacture motorized coaches. We're all towable. So travel trailer, fifth wheel, toy hauler. There's a lot of other ways to camp, glamping, there's cabins. So I want to make sure that everybody knows clearly, this is not a plug because Erin and I are friends and we're just advocating for RV camping. Campspot.com provides every single type of camping. So you want to do tent camping, you want to be in a cabin, glamping, and of course there's 1,000 different options to choose from when it comes to RVing. So you do encompass all types of camping, correct?
We do. I mean, you've said a couple keywords, private campgrounds. So of our private campground network, it's predominantly RV sites. I think it's about 75, 77%. Okay. But, right up there, the second most popular category is our lodging. And lodging does have a wide definition, right? That can be cabins, yurts. It can be, RVs that are already on site and ready to go. So, think of it, I often tell friends, there's a definition that you need your own gear and your own rig, but there's another definition that's like, if you want to be at a campground that has amenities, an opportunity to just kind of experience what's around you or on site, there's something for everyone in just kind of filtering through your lodging options.
That's awesome. And one thing that you and I both know, especially with your timing coming in 2021, we have obviously seen with regards to RVing, broke 2 world records in the history of the industry. But also, in addition to all the other ways to camp, the biggest booking week sale that led to 2.3 million hours of being in the outdoors. Can you kind of speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, it's a little bit of an experiment, and sometimes experiments go well, and sometimes they don't. This one, we're really pleased. It went really, really well. So we tried a new concept this year. We called it Campspot's biggest booking week. It was actually March, I believe, 14th through the 19th. And what we did is we said, hey, campgrounds using our software, we would love to create a really special booking window that we're going to do a lot of promotion around to campers. Trying to drive, a very heavy week of let's get outside. And we didn't necessarily know how that was going to resonate right in March. And so we felt like it was connecting to these are hours that you can spend outdoors, really might be that emotive connection to campers. And so that's how we tied the, booking hours outside with the reservation count. So this experiment, again, we asked parks to opt in. To opt in, they created a promo code. They used the same promo code, but they then had the option to put whatever parameters they wanted so that it worked right for their campground. And then we consolidated all the parks that participated using that same promotional promo code and had a big kind of campaign running to drive people to that landing page, where then again they were able to find that park's unique discount or promotion, and really drive kind of like urgency countdown, right? 5 days to go, 4 days to go, 3 days to go. This is running out. Part of that launch included a free booking bonus gift for everyone who made a reservation during that week. And so we had a lot of great support through a handful of partners as well. And as far as we kind of know, it was the first of its kind in terms of promotion in the online camping travel space. And again, I think what was really exciting is, we wanted to see how many parks could we get together and really bringing that consolidation to more campers and bringing more value to campers. But we were also curious of how would campers respond. Middle of March, for half the country, it was still cold. It's still cold in the middle of May, but we won't talk about that. We're really happy just to see how the campaign actually drew in new campers. I think one of the statistics is that 90% of the bookings that were made on the marketplace, campspot.com, during that promotion were from first-time customers. So one of our hypotheses is that the OTA, which is what we call the campspot.com marketplace, is really a great draw to like attract campers that are out there and just looking for an easier way to make a camping reservation. And this type of program kind of pulled in that new camper, which again, we hope then goes on to have an amazing experience with those campgrounds and book with those campgrounds direct moving forward.
Yeah. Doesn't it amaze you now that you are in this industry though, just how many beautiful places there are to go throughout North America?
Stunning. I mean, I live in Maine and I feel like you can't really see much more pretty campgrounds around here.
Right.
In preparation for our call, I was like, what are some that we're thinking of going to this summer? And I got lost with 15 minutes of my time looking at pictures. It's really amazing. And again, I think it's one of the cool kind of secrets of camping, which a lot of campers will say, even stop talking about these campgrounds. And we've heard that about some of the award winners. Like, this is my secret.
Yeah, don't promote us, please.
Yeah, everyone will know about it. It'll be harder to book. Yeah. But it's a really fun way, right, to see a lot of the country in a really unique way.
Yeah. And in speaking to that too, I mean, as you and I kind of talked offline, as a manufacturer, that's the thing that we have to be humble. Is this industry, obviously, it's been around for a while. When you have people new to the industry, there's a lot of assumptions like, well, everybody knows how to camp. Everyone knows how to put down their stabilizer jacks. Everybody knows how to flush the black tank. Everybody knows how to do the highs and lows of camping. And truly, you really do have to reassess always. And I definitely can tell that you guys do that as well. As you peel the onion, we have more and more demographics coming in and understanding their needs to, again, have that experience. And I think, the one thing that I want to hit on again, back to this solar eclipse, and you touched on it too. One of the most captured feedback that we get from first-time RVers, whether they choose our brand or not, is really managing their time, right? And how long something does take, and becoming, experts in weather, because all of these things that you're dependent upon, well, they're always moving targets. And, that's why it's really important that, outside of understanding where you're going to be going, doing a little bit of research, if you're bringing an RV, understanding and being comfortable with how to use it, how to fix it if something happens. I can't hit on enough that with all these great experiences, the efforts that we're making internally for our consumer base and education through our dealers, I applaud again you guys for doing that as well, focusing on that CX, that customer experience and user experience. So it's just, I think it's something that we always have to be pivoting to. And I would just want to recap again, April 8th, 2024, get on Campspot now for the 2024 solar eclipse. Why do people need to, I know the answer, but why do people need to start planning now?
I know it feels so far away, right? But the reality is, again, once in a lifetime opportunity for many of us. For maybe youngsters, they might have another one. But I can't remember the exact year, but it's been forever since the last type of this particular type of eclipse, and an opportunity to literally be in the great outdoors, right? The camping offers no better kind of way to experience this. And so the idea is not only is it, high demand, high urgency because of the infrequency of this type of activity. And, it's not, there's amazing, I'm sure sports games that will never happen in your lifetime. This is happening outside where campgrounds can be, and campgrounds can be such an amazing partner to campers to help them have a full experience at their campground. The path of totality is massive. There's hundreds of, parks that are going to benefit from this, but majority of Americans in North America are not living in the path of totality. So we can easily, within a few hours drive, a lot of us can get to that same point. So single day of history in terms of travel. That means it's time to book, and it is time to book now. A lot of campgrounds are also opening their inventory earlier than usual, right? Because again, it's a fairly seasonal business for many, and so some campgrounds we've talked to are even opening up normally earlier than normal in order to be open in April, right? Since many, especially Northeast campgrounds, are not always open until mid-May, late May. So just kind of keeping that in mind, that this is a community effort and a community opportunity. And I think for that reason alone, absolutely, we are now within that 365-day clock window. So, urgency to book and figure out where you want to be for this once in a lifetime experience.
Absolutely. And I also think too, when it comes to camping, the one thing that really builds that traffic, it's the most affordable way for a family to travel.
Totally.
So
And
that's
have
going to
nothing.
accelerate at
Right.
scale here in the months ahead as we move closer to this big
Yeah.
life-changing event. Before I get into the teaser, right? Because the audience always loves freebies. My dad, may he rest in peace, used to have a motto that said, "Hey, if it's free, get me three." But we got a big teaser, so I just want to recap again. Erin Stender, God bless her for taking some time, Chief Marketing Officer with Campspot, Grand Rapids, Michigan-based company with also offices in Denver, Colorado, and Chicago, Illinois, founded in 2015 with the intent to provide a simple, modern online booking experience serving campers and campgrounds, available again on the web as well as the App Store, Google Play. Download it now. It's time for the big teaser. So not all, as long you guys have already done enough in terms of making it very easy to book and have amazing experiences throughout North America, but you couldn't stop there. You got an all-new Campspot Outdoor Almanac, the ultimate free camping magazine. What in the heck is that?
Yeah, think, polished magazine, amazing content, beautiful imagery. It's a little bit of everything. We're really, really proud of it. As you mentioned, our third edition is about to come out really, really soon. And so this is, again, our third edition. We do this twice a year. We've been doing the Campspot Outdoor Almanac. It's a free biannual camping magazine, we call it. It's usually about somewhere between 35 and 50 pages. It's chock full of exclusive content, trends. We get experts writing in on all sorts of various topics. We are highlighting over 110 campgrounds in this edition. We offer road trip itinerary examples, recipes for when you're cooking over the grill. This particular edition, like no surprise, because of the eclipse, is a little bit, we're calling it out of this world camping. So it's
Awesome.
themed a little bit, on the side of eclipse-esque type content. We're highlighting 2 states, so Michigan and North Carolina are specifically called in there with some more robust content about it, like the ultimate breakfast burrito recipe. And again, just recommendations on where to travel, how to travel, where to go. We have some really great partners that always participate. So we've got a number of great partners in this particular edition as well. And we send it, like print it out to a lot of our campers get it. We're actually distributing it at the upcoming Heartland rally. So that's really exciting that we can get into the hands
To everyone, you're welcome.
We really want to find a way to distribute this, as broadly, as widely as we can. Again, it's free, and we hope that it helps create inspiration and ideas. And, our vision is that someone is just casually reading this over breakfast or a cup of coffee and is like, you know what, this is my calling. It's time to do the thing I've been wanting to do and get outside and make that camping trip happen.
That's awesome. So this is in print. Is it going to be available in digital also?
It will be. Yes. Thanks for
Okay.
reminding me. And it's like, it will be /outdoor-almanac. So campspot.com /outdoor-almanac. This actual edition is the first time we're doing like an e-zine, so you can actually digitally flip through it and experience it. And then you can also download the previous versions if you missed one of the first 2 and you're interested in that. And you can provide your address to get on the mailing list for the next one.
Perfect. So you've outlined every way to access it. And then outside the app and outside of the website, okay, are you guys on social media?
We are on social. We are on Instagram. You can find us on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We are dabbling, figuring out TikTok, which is really fun for us to be in as well. But for the most part, where we've got Instagram and Facebook is where we spend a lot of time and effort.
You know what I love about technology too? Because I think we're all kind of young. It makes us feel really old real quick.
I was going to say, this is going to make me feel extremely old, but it's so fun, right? To be on top of trying to find where people are at. That's what we care most about, and connecting with them.
Well, Erin, I know that there's a lot of exciting things that we talked about too that's going to be upcoming. So expect everyone, get ready. Erin will be back again on the Launching Life Journeys podcast, but you just heard from her, Erin Stender, Chief Marketing Officer of Campspot. Download the app. It's free to download. App Store, Google Play. Go to the website, get the new almanac, get the backdated editions, and be there in 2024 at the solar eclipse. Witness history Erin, thank you so much. I wish you and your family a wonderful weekend, and thank you for taking some time to be a guest on the Launching Life's Journeys podcast.
Very much a pleasure. Thank you, Will. Have a great weekend too.
I'm Will Miller, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast, brought to you by Heartland RVs. Stay tuned for our next destination.